For me, professionally, I would say the start at Alpro, because it was the first time I was in a leadership position, a true leadership position. I entered the company and I felt from the second week maybe I had an impact and a positive impact.
Hello, welcome everybody back at Beyond the Blend episode 12. This is a weekly podcast by Alberts where we have real talk on startups. My name is Clementine and I'm super happy to open the doors of our startup Alberts and show you how things go on beyond the scenes and get inspiring guests to get you actionable and cool insights. First up, please click that subscribe button. It's totally free. You can always change your mind and it really helps us to get the message of a new episode right to you. I'm checking in from our Brussels office today. It is 5 p.m. on a Friday. Somebody told me, dude, don't record at night. You look like shit. So, hey, here you go. I hope I'm a bit fresher. Today we have a fantastic guest on the episode. Her name is Jolien Schelstraete and Jolien is with Danone Alpro. I've just finished recording and I am 100% sure that you will absolutely love this episode. Jolene truly delivered on the promise of Beyond the Blend. She really opened up on her personal track, her own experiences, and really gave you good insights that you can get yourself, whether you're starting your career or you want to make a change in your career, or you just feel that you have to change something within. She has solutions, so let's listen to her. Jolene, thank you very much for doing this. It was a real pleasure. So massive thank you and massive shout out. Thank you. As always, we start with 5 minutes updates on Alberts, and this time that is exactly in line with our current guest, Jolien. Yes, indeed, it's the weeks of big news. So I've already been teasing this for 3 weeks. I wanted to share this already for, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 months. But finally I can, so let's shout it out. We are in business with Danone Alpro. Yes, and I got something new. Wait for it. All right, cool. Let's unravel this and let's unpack this totally open for you here in the Scoop. So Danone is one of the biggest food companies in the world. Their slogan is One Planet, One Health. And we're particularly happy to be working with their division Alpro. The brand Alpro stands for plant-based drinks. They have strong roots in Belgium also. I'm absolutely over the moon with this partnership because it really means way more than the partnership alone. It's kind of a get-together of so many achievements that this really symbolizes for me the next step for Alberts. What are we doing? So Alpro and Alberts will be bundling forces to bring plant-based smoothies to the market. What people can do is they can opt for coconut or for oat into their smoothie. You get a really smooth texture into that smoothie. And what you're doing basically is you get some good plant-based material into your smoothie. The recipes are curated together, the teams of Alpro and Alberts together in a close collaboration. Everything is Nutri-Score A and Nutri-Score B, and most of all, it is absolutely amazing from taste-wise perspective. So go out and try it, and I hope everybody will really like this collab. In this collaboration, we'll be rolling out a first set of 10 machines on the Belgian market. That will happen still this year, and the first machine will be installed at Decathlon. Decathlon is a wonderful store as well, big multinational providing tools or gear for everybody who wants to go sport and have a healthy life. So big shout out to Decathlon as well, because I'm really, really proud that we can do this all together. I believe one day we'll have an episode with the whole Alberts team somehow. Let me know in the comments if you would like that, to somehow unravel how this all came together. The whole team was working on this. I mean, if you want to align with a big corporate like Alpro or Danone, in this case, you really, really need to work on all the fields. So it goes from communication to marketing to software to the food that we're actually incorporating, food safety, to all the way to GDPR. So many, many, many fields come together. And it really took the whole Alberts team also to frankly grow in this relationship and get to the level that was required for this partnership. So if you guys like that, let me know in the comments. Maybe we do a podcast with the Alberts team and we can somehow all share how this all got together. What I'm most proud of is the way that this collaboration is actually executed. We go in a co-branding strategy, meaning that we respect each other's brand, but at the same time, we find each other in each other's values. In the whole food robotics history, let's say, there is like a handful of collaborations of a food robotics startup that actually collaborates with a big corporation, so a big food player. And usually it was the opposite way. Usually the brand got totally dominated, or the technology was just basically sold off and totally pushed in a corner, as to speak. But in this case, we really find each other in a very respectful way. And at the same time, we have a very ambitious plan to move forward and to make healthy plant-based drinks and smoothies. Very common at the workplace, very common at universities, hospitals. So I absolutely adore this collaboration. I want to give a massive shout out to the team at Danone Alpro that made this happen. There are many names in such a big collaboration, but at least Jolene's direct team, which means Anna and Ibe, a very big shout out. Thank you very much for all of this. We're actually just about to get started, so everything still has to start. But I think there's like a year of preparation work that was before this already. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Let's go get this and let's go do this. So one more time, my new tool. So things are moving fast here at Albert's. Things are moving forward in a rocket pace. Our production is now almost ready. We got machines just about to get launched. We're waiting for last components to arrive, and then they're ready. This month we'll go live. Next episodes, I'll try to share more about the UK adventures. But for now, on to Jolene, on to the podcast. Enjoy. I love you, and see you next week. Okay, one more time maybe. Hello everybody, welcome back. Beyond the Blend episode 12. Today I'm fantastically happy for multiple reasons, but one of these is definitely that Jolien Schelstraete is joining Beyond the Blend. Hello
Hey,
Jolien.
Glenn.
Jolien, I've promised you that I would correctly state your title. So here we go. Jolien is working at Danone. You are today the plant-based leader and marketing manager at Alpro-Provamel BeLux, correct?
Very correct, even.
Okay. Jolien, it's lovely to have you on the podcast. I think we know each other for, I have to guess, 1 year?
Yeah,
now?
a bit more, I guess. Yeah, something like that.
Roundabout, yes. So by now it's already out in the open a little bit. There will be a collaboration between the two companies we're representing, so Albert's and then on the other side, Danone. Of course, we will have way more on that already in the intro and already in the next weeks ahead. But today I'm just super happy that you're joining. It was quite an experience to work from startup towards big corporate.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We got to know each yeah, from both sides, I can also imagine. And Beyond the Blend is all about trying to bridge a little bit beyond what's happening. So I'm super happy that you're here. Could you give for all the listeners somehow an overview of your, let's say, career so far or your journey, and give us some insights in how that track got together?
Yeah, for sure. I think you already mentioned that I'm today plant-based lead, and to me, plant-based as a part is very important to me because it's my purpose. It's really part of a love and a passion I have for sustainability in general. And I think the other thing that has kind of driven me throughout my career, especially looking back after less than 15 years, I think it's not such a long career. It's the part sustainability, but also good food, because those are two important parts of my life. And it's always been like that. I think looking back at my childhood, I remember I was part of the Scouts and there was a challenge to do a fashion show, which for once I thought might be my career path. And I designed a whole outfit made from recycled materials in the early 90s,
nice.
So already upcycling. So that's kind of where it started for me. And at the same time, when living at home still, my parents were very much also in a very health-driven mindset, but also much about the planet and doing what's right. So we already ate a lot of plant-based at home as well. So it's very fun looking at where I am today at Alpo and looking at the products with which I grew up. There's a very nice match there. But as a professional more, what my career been like, I studied Germanic languages, so quite a different kind of study, but really...
So fashion, languages...
I've been all over the place. I've considered psychology even, so I've been a bit discovering myself, and I think that's nice because it's a period in your life where you can do it, but it's also looking back, good to choose something you really love, and that's what I did with Germanic languages. And it's a great general kind of training for later. but I didn't do anything with it. But I was part of the student body, and I got organizing stuff. I was first
Nice.
in culture and then in the events. And that's kind of where it switched. And my first job was a nice continuance of it, because I was at the Belgian Brewers Association. Beer is also a passion point of mine. As a,
We're Belgians by heart,
exactly,
right?
exactly. So very nice start. And there I got to organize the first ever Open Breweries Day. So that was very, very cool as a first experience ever. And from there, I actually went into experiential marketing, working with an agency called Demonstrate that specializes in direct links between consumers and brands. So sampling, events, a whole lot of those things. And there,
Okay, okay. Because can I say, because you say experiential marketing, can you explain that?
yeah, in short, it is everything where your brand and your consumer get to interact directly. The easiest way, and for food and drinks brands, it's sampling. So just giving your product in the most perfect way to your consumer. But it can also be broader. Back then, we worked, for example, also for banks. So you can't just give them an account, but it's really about also getting people to experience and kind of feel what your brand is like. So it's a more direct form of advertising. And that was really interesting. And at the end there, I had as account director two big accounts, Alpro and Coca Cola. And now we know how history went, but
Yeah.
I then went to Coke to do their first experiential marketing manager. So I was in charge of the other side of the business I managed. But then I went on to brand management, really going broader, because still love experiential and still strongly believe in it. And I think it's also where both of our roles match. It's also the
Yeah,
reason we work together today.
Exactly.
But I wanted to go broader, really understand what's the whole marketing about, and even beyond, really business minded. And that I did as a brand manager and then a senior brand manager at Coke. And then I got a phone call. Jolene, we are looking for a marketing manager at Alpo. What do you think? I'm like,
Okay.
love Coke. Still had a lot of opportunities there. Loved it there. We left on very good terms. But it was Alpo. It was the little puddings I grew up with. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it and take the jump. It felt right. So that's how I ended up there 3 years ago, something like that. And it's for me, but it's too early in my career to be full circle. But for where I am today, it does feel like I'm exactly in the spot I need to be.
Yeah. No, it's lovely. I didn't know that the Coca Cola and the Alpro actually came from basically the first experience. So somehow you like it's very nice to see that you jump like it's almost like you flow with the water, right? You
Yeah.
flow like
Yeah, it's a good
so.
call out because it's something.
I wanted to make the joke when you started Albert's, but no, I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, not saying no. Yeah, and
You followed the flow.
I think it's interesting what you say, because in big companies you always have to have development conversation and think about your next step. And I've always been in awe of people that were able to say, from when I was 6 years old, I knew I was going to be a doctor. I literally had no clue. And indeed, it's like getting new experience and getting in touch with new stuff. It helps me to advance my career. And I think with the plant-based lead function I have today, it's already again moving beyond marketing and much more to the business side, to the number crunching, the sales. So it really is a bit like a nice flow. And what's nicer to be working and going with the flow. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, could you, because you clearly did, I mean, you've been working in, these are huge companies. I mean, Coca Cola is one of the biggest food companies and Danone as well. So could you maybe share with us some insights that you gathered over the years, or maybe some recipes to success, or I don't know, like something where you say, yeah, that's something where I really hold on to, that I, looking back now, that I really still vividly remember that's important.
Yeah, and I think for me it's a relatively recent aha moment, and that is that you are the pilot of your career. We just talked about, for me, it's flowing and it's just moving as kind of a bit organically. But for me, the real insight I've had is you are the one who has to be in charge of your own happiness, and professional happiness is a very big chunk of that. I feel in the beginning of my career, and I think a lot of people feel the same, you kind of focus on what do they want, what is my employer or potential future employer is looking for, what do they want me to do, what do they expect me to do, am I doing good enough? And to me, it even came to the point that I think 6 or 7 years ago, I had a 3-month burnout. So it kind of
Okay.
exploded in my head, and it was probably the toughest period of my life, but also the most
Yeah.
inspiring, and it made me pause. I couldn't, I literally couldn't advance anymore. So I had to take a hard, long look at where I was. And the thing to me that really clicked was, okay, it's up to me. Yes, you have a support system at home, at work, but you can't expect them to see you're struggling if you're not flagging it. So for me, it's really on the one hand about what do I want and how does that match what the company is looking for. It's finding something that fits both, but it's not just you nodding and doing what they ask you.
Yes.
It's about the same, matching your skills. What do you like? What gives you energy? What drives you? And matching that with the company. If the match isn't there, you will always put in energy that you can't get out. And that's really bringing it down to your core values. And if they're the fit with the company or wherever you work is right, then I think it's an easy match. So for me, putting yourself first, it's maybe a very holistic tip, but I feel for me it's really key to get to professional success.
But super. I mean, literally yesterday, Jolien, I had a long drive. I was driving to the east of the country, Genk. And I was calling up a friend who didn't have a burnout, but a bored out. And exactly what you say is exactly the same, where you say, okay, it doesn't really matter what let's say the company really wants, that you don't only are a yay sayer, but you also see like, what do I actually want? Imagine, so it's a really close friend of mine. He was working 11 years at that company, 11 years. And now he decided in the board out, did restructuring of his, view on life, view on career, had a coach to do that, and then decided to go another track. And still on the phone, he told me, somehow I also feel bad that I'm leaving them. I told him like you gave them 11 years of all your power and your energy. That's enough. You don't have to feel bad about it. And then he said, now I know, but I didn't realize when I was in the middle of it, I didn't think like that. I felt like I was somehow disappointing them or something. Yeah. And it's somehow, I mean, many of these small things I find back in what you say. Yeah. And also, big coincidence, I literally called him yesterday. Listen, you should call friends. You should call friends more.
It's really, it is, because for me, it was one of the red flags. Just because I had so little energy from my job, I stopped doing things I liked beyond my job, because I was, if I now see my friends tonight, I'll be tired tomorrow and it will be worse. And so it's indeed important to have the ups. And if you don't, it's normal that you don't every day get an up at your work, but then look for them somewhere else. So I think it's really a big one. And maybe a second tip I can give, and I also kind of mentioned it, but it's about those values. And as for me, that's the purpose. That is where I really get my energy from. So that always also was kind of an important click that I only understood the moment I went from Coke to Alpro. Like, okay, for me, when choosing a job, I have a checklist. I didn't know. It's not a literal checklist. It's like, okay, it's a company that has a very clear footprint in Belgium. Production in Belgium, an office in Belgium, a heritage in Belgium, especially for Alpro. But also some company that's passionate about sustainability in all its forms. Health and sustainability go hand in hand. And there, for me, the match with plant-based is very clear. So I think purpose is also a second important one to really keep in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I think you also, somehow you breathe this vibe. I don't know. When I see your LinkedIn popping and when I see pictures of when you are at events or even the colorful clothes you somehow represent for me this fresh vibe of healthy products, even in how I just see you as a person. So you definitely transpire.
Cool. Nice to hear.
Okay, no, cool. I think these are cool insights when you say, looking back 15 years, you said it's not so long, but I mean, 15 years.
It's not so long. Don't say it's long.
Good. Okay. We still have a good part to go. Something that we're always passionate about to learn as well is, it's a cheesy question, but something like, what is the highest high or the lowest low that you have been? What are the extremes that you've been, and what did you learn from them, basically, to then push forward?
Yeah, lowest low is easy. It's the burnout, of course. Luckily,
Yeah, we
it
just
would be bad if I had a lower low. Did, as I said, it did help me, and it did learn me to recognize my red flags when I'm going that way. And it's not because you've had it once. I promised myself I would not do it a second time. And that is really helping me, because then when I'm down the downward spiral, I can really recognize, okay, I'm forgetting things. I can't find my words. To me, that's a really clear red flag. And then I literally stop, I pause. If it happens in the afternoon, I just shut down, take the time to, okay, what is it? How do I feel it? Is it a specific task? Is it something that's bothering me? Because we're often so much in a rush that you forget to do that and forget to think. And in theory, if you're mindful, which I try to practice, but I'm very much not in the daily routine yet, but ideally at the end of your day, you should call out what you think went well. I had a great day today, or even I had a shitty day today, but at least I got my to-do list crossed off, or at least I got... Yes. And then you always end the day with a positive feeling, but you also make it very top of mind for yourself what is going well and what you're struggling with, so you can tackle. And then...
Yeah, I see it.
And maybe on lowest lows in the daily job, it's routine. You spoke about the energy. I'm very much about go, and let's do this. I think about stuff, but just doing things because they need to be done, it bores the crap out of me. So that's also a low in the daily job. Okay. And I think the highest high, the coolest part of the question, maybe. It's a difficult one, because I've had luckily a lot of highs. For me professionally, I would say the start at Alpro, because it was the first time I was in a leadership position, a true leadership position. I entered the company and I felt from the second week maybe I had an impact, and a positive impact. And that was super cool. And it's really something particular about Alpro and now also within Danone, that they hire really looking at the fit and the connection. And that made it very easy, because at Alpro and people working on plant-based, we all have that drive/obsession on plant-based. It's not that we're all vegans or the focus is really on flexitarianism, but we are so convinced that this is the right way forward that you just feel, it's the vibe. It's what you said about me. You really feel it in the office as well.
Yeah, from day one it is. And I say it's stupid, but even like you come in and you have these super colorful shoes, and I'm like, yes, this will be a good meeting. That was the first time I saw you. I didn't see you before, because with COVID it was always impossible. And then the first real meeting, I was like, yes, this is going to be a good.
Cool. And I think with Alpro, we've also done, as it's an amazing team. We always call ourselves entrepreneurs to a bit. Yes, it's a big corporation, but we really try to still have that vibe. And I try kind of to steal the energy from you guys as well on that one, kind of a real startup vibe. And with that last year, we got rewarded Marketing Company of the Year. So that was like a very nice validation for the team. So that was a big high, and I didn't expect it. So I was freaking out when they called out the names, like, oh my God, I should have written...
They don't call up front?
I'm like, I should have written a speech. I didn't write a speech, because I thought if you win, but I didn't. So I was like, okay, fuck. Very high. And then hopefully, crossing our fingers, next week, we're in the finals of the Effie Awards. So hopefully by Thursday evening, we maybe have an Effie statue.
Super nice. Maybe can you explain what the Effies are?
Because now it sounds like I'm an award hunter, not the thing. But Effies are very important for me, because those are awards, marketing awards, that really focus on efficiency. So it is not marketing for marketing's sake. It is really how it fits within the whole context. So it really starts from what's the market situation, what are the objectives. It's very numbers driven, so I really like it, but it's maybe not for all marketeers an easy one. And then it's really about what is the return on investment, how did you do it, how did you make it work. And that to me is really the core essence also of how I perceive marketing, as it's not making nice images and not just about telling and selling stories. For me, marketing is a very powerful tool, almost a language, which we have to use for the good. And to do good for your business is one part, but also to do good. And I'm very happy, and you see it also with the Belgian Association of Marketing, that they're really also working to leverage this as a force for good in sustainability, in health purposes, in societal topics. So that for me is very nice about the FEs, that it's really marketing as kind of an expertise for the good of both the business, but also our world.
I mean, my background is technical, right? And then business side of that. But honestly, I've learned so much about marketing. Like, I had no clue. I was that guy who went in and who said, let's just do a quick logo ourselves. It doesn't matter.
My heart.
That was 7 years ago. Okay, so I kind of changed a little bit, but I've really learned a lot from it. It's actually the other co-founder of the company. We were three, Philip. It was way more his, let's say, he wasn't a marketeer, but it was more in his nature. We did marketing agency after marketing agency. It was so hard. It must have been so hard to work with us. And I think certainly with me, it must have been hell. Maybe still is. But yeah, now I'm very happy now about how we have it today, and then also how we do it now together, the two companies. I really think it's a strong message. And we already had it at first clients where we went for the pitch then, so the B2B pitch at least. You see it, that people are like, this is a great way to introduce more plant-based products into what we're offering, because we're sure that like this, people will actually start trying it. And I'm like, that's exactly what we want to do. That's exactly the message we want to bring. And then they were like, okay, we get it. So anyways.
No, for sure. So maybe next year we pitch for an FE together.
That's the spirit. When do you have to submit?
Somewhere around. So it's now, we have time. We have time.
Okay, and then we have Jolene episode.
Exactly. Hope and pray.
Okay. So, Jolene, so you know that this podcast tried to give more real insights, and you definitely provide that on personal and professional level. But do you feel empowered to give some advice for people who are maybe starting, or people who want to change and do something new? Do you have something in mind where you say, okay, these are my top 1, 2, 3 that I would like to give to these people?
Good question. I think 1, 2, 3. Yes. Probably a lot of them is repetition. I think 1, start from yourself. It's important to put the person at the center. I think as a professional, put yourself at the center. As a marketeer, put your consumer at the center. But as a business, put your consumer at the center. It's the same thing, so also apply it to yourself. Look for the job that matches you and where you feel good, and then the connection will come. Secondly, I would say speak up. Dare to be more outspoken, open. I think I don't know if it's a Belgian thing or a Flemish thing, but we have the tendency of, it is what it is. We'll just manage.
100%.
And no, it isn't. And even if it is, often when joining a company, you have the freshest view. And then you can sometimes by accident challenge stuff. And what you know, it changes. And if it doesn't change, at least you've challenged it. And if it makes you unhappy, you for sure have to challenge it. So,
yes. But speak up is a good one. I think there is this expression that they say about Flemish people that it's a bit like a mud pool. And anybody who tries to like stick out a bit, then the others are like, no, drag you back in, like, be quiet here, And so I think you're right. Speak up is super important. And for you, you're nicely put that in the company walls, but also outside, because you added actually in your list with the awards. You said, it's not like I'm an award hunter, but fuck you, you have 2 great awards. Shout it out. It's fantastic.
And it feels like I think the perfect bridge to my third point is, like you guessed it, And it's also a very un-Belgian thing. It celebrates success. And it's something,
Yeah,
be
exactly.
proud and shout about it and be happy. And I think it's something that, and a lot of the people in my and our generation today struggle with imposter syndrome. I also have it very much. And it's where you think,
Sometimes I have that as well.
I think everybody who's like above 20 today has this.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know what it is, imposter syndrome means that you feel like you're impersonating somebody who's doing a good job, but you're not actually performing as you should. So you feel the whole time that somebody can discover that you actually are sucking in your job.
And like, I don't belong here, actually.
They will figure it out.
They will see it one day.
It's horrible. Yes. And I was reading a book about it, and in that book it says people with imposter syndrome often think that success comes by accident, by others, or just happens, but it's not you driving it. And that was such. I was sitting outside in the sun, enjoying it, read, and I was like, oh, exactly. I've always thought like, we had a great campaign. Yeah, but it was because the weather was nice, so whatever, something like that. And then I was like, okay, so for me it clicked like, okay, we have to kind of own it, and I've done this. Wait a second, I've done this. I've actually participated in. So for that, my advice is celebrate it. And sometimes it can be, and should be, of course, a big celebration with bubbles and confettis and what else you need to celebrate. But it can also be, and that for me was really kind of a learning curve. It has to also come from yourself, as people with imposter syndrome often wait for others to validate them. Validate yourself. Don't wait until your manager brings a champagne. Dare for yourself to take a moment and say, I did good. Dare to also tell them.
And the manager will love the champagne if you
Exactly. And I really try to do it also mostly on home office days. But if I've had a meeting which I was dreading and it went well, or like the mail comes in like, you're in the finals of the Effies, then I really literally can kind of applause and like, yeah, all right, I did it. And like, let it kind of come in and I always tell people to put a compliment in your heart, because we're so used to saying, Glenn, you're wearing a very nice shirt. Yeah, I got it in the sales. It wasn't that expensive. And we do the same on our job.
Yeah, it's actually broken, but I'm not telling you, so I put it outside of the camera.
Exactly, and that's all of it is the same thing. You just learn to say, thank you very much. It means a lot to me that you say it. Cool.
Yes.
Thanks. That to me, so I would say, start from you, speak up, and celebrate success would be my 1, 2, 3 for the starters.
And the last one is so important, because also if you're in a leadership role, so for example, me, I suck in celebrating success with the full team. So for everybody has a different level, let's say, and for me, it's always just go. But it's not for everybody. And even I could actually enjoy more. We did this great. And there, honestly, I found Corona a difficult period, because it was so hard often to be all together.
Yeah.
It was very fragmented always. We were the 3, we were the 2, we were the 2. It was a call there. It was a meeting in the car with that one, but never actually like, woohoo, we're all together. So for example, I suck at even organizing a team event where we could just all say, yeah, guys, Jolene gave her a go. We're now in business with Alpro-Provamel, something like that. Even that is hard. So it's good that you reminded me again.
And it's good. I think it's already great that you know it, that you have the awareness. And also don't overthink it. It can be just putting every Friday at lunch a team meeting, and then you just ask somebody, what do you want to share today? And that's enough.
Exactly.
So, and then some big moments.
I always was overthinking it. I always was like, we should go for a team building now. No, we should just have one crate of beer and everybody around the crate of beer and just say, how's it going? Yeah. We did this fantastic.
Or a bunch of Alpro smoothies.
Of course. As a matter of speaking.
We can maybe pour in something.
You mean Albert's?
Yes, exactly. No, yeah, but it's
No, okay.
important. It doesn't have to be, and that's maybe a fourth one. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist,
Yeah, yeah,
and the
yeah.
biggest thing that I can't do is be perfect. It's tiring
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
it's
bad
so
for
true.
everyone. So just do it. See what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. You know what? Let's celebrate the success we had together
For
now.
sure. Cool.
We will have the first rollouts in a matter of weeks. So I'm very excited about that. There will be way more coming from communication, but it was lovely to have you on here. I really appreciate also that you did this because I'm in the small startup world. It's more like we do whatever the hell we want. More, I don't say entirely, but more. You're in the big corporate world, but I really like this. And I'm so sure that many people who maybe have an ambition for a similar career or are facing certain challenges can have a lot from this. So thank you very much,
Thanks a
Jolene,
lot.
for doing this. Okay, good. Yeah, we see each other in the next weeks often, I guess. But for now, have a great weekend. It's now afternoon Friday. So, Jolene, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Glenn. Speak soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.